Creative Magic Club. What's up? This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a six-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I'm here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi everyone, welcome. I'm so excited to introduce my guest today. Swapna Thomas is a marketing and mindset mentor who helps rebel coaches, leaders, and change makers unlock their unique movement, aka their rebellion, craft aligned and magnetic offers, and create courageous content that captivates their soul, clients, and selves without sales calls so they can reach five-figure months with ease and flow. She has been featured on Elephant Journal, Asian Age, and dozens of podcasts, and is currently writing her first book called Market Like a Leader. Swapna runs her global business from India, is a feminist and an introvert with Manifesting Generator as her human design. She is also a proud Ravenclaw and devours psychological thrillers in hours. Hi, Swapna. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me.
So I would love for you to tell us what is your story? Like, how did you end up doing the work that you're doing in your business today?
So I think my story starts pretty much after I had my daughter. So before that, it was pretty much like a cookie cutter story. I had an MBA. I have an MBA in marketing and human resources. Overachiever, did major in both of those. So I had a major in marketing and a major in human resources. Got into the corporate ladder, and I was going through the whole corporate zombie route. And it just felt like one day my boss said to me that you will be taking over my position when I retire. And it just landed like a whole thing on me. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I cannot see myself doing this job, his job. Like that would feel like a dead weight to me. I mean, my boss was a great guy, but I did not want his job by any means. And I think when I had my daughter, I sort of took it like an out. And I genuinely wanted to enjoy her childhood and, be with her. So I decided I'm going to do the stay-at-home mom thing for a few years. And then, I'll see if I want to come back or not. And I started doing that. And fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, my daughter was really independent very, very quickly, right? She didn't want me around for a long time. Like she was ready to mingle with friends. And by the time she was 3, I started feeling like, I don't know what to do with my time now. Like she doesn't need me so much. And I want to do something creative. So at the time, I was reading a lot of mommy blogs. India did not have a culture of mommy blogs at that time. And so I thought it would be great to create my own mommy blog and, monetize it. So I started writing my own blog and I literally learned I had no tech skills, none whatsoever. So I would be feeding my daughter at night and also watching YouTube videos and that time things were not so intuitive as it is now. Like you can literally take a template and create a whole website, but I had to literally copy and paste HTML code to create my first website. So I did all of that. And that is how I started my mommy blogging journey. And very quickly, I monetized it. And the thing that was that I did not have a very big audience at any given point of time. There were bloggers who had millions of page views and thousands of people visiting their website. But I had a very small following, but my following was very engaged. And I was marketing to a very niche audience of upper middle class women, mothers, and that is why, I was able to reach a very targeted audience and brands wanted to work with me. And I started finding myself talking to other bloggers about monetizing their blogs. And then this whole industry of coaching opened up for me. And I did not know what coaching was. I'd never heard of it. So I decided that, the moment I heard about it, I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like talking for a living and, helping people realize their dreams and passions. This is exactly what I was born for. And that's how my journey began. And I started by just doing content coaching, but then it kept evolving into more of mindset and mentoring work, which is where I find myself now.
That's amazing. And I think it's so important to share these like how I started stories, because it can be so easy to look at a coach who's successful and be like, oh yeah, well, she got her MBA in marketing and now she's a marketing coach and she just always knew how to do that. And it's like, I love that it started out, as being driven by a passion to be there for your daughter. And, it always is. It's those lifestyle things that really drive us into business, I find. And then you don't have to have a giant audience. And, it's so easy to see people with like millions of followers and think that, it's not possible for you to create the freedom that you want to create because you don't have all of those things already. And just figure it out one step at a time. And I love that it came full circle for you. Like you went down the mum blogging route and then you came back around to your expertise in business and marketing. That's so cool.
Yeah. And I don't know how much that MBA helped me. I'm sure it was running in my subconscious for sure. But I think I learned most of the things on the job, right? Like while growing a list, by building an audience. That is how I learned how to market in this space. I think because the traditional MBA is not now, I think they have started talking more about digital marketing. But at the time I did, MBA, and I feel like a dinosaur right now. But at the time, online was hardly even mentioned in our MBA because it was not a very big market at the time. So yeah, I think I have seen your content as well, and you also completely believe in the fact that you don't need a big audience or huge following to reach 5-figure months. I have done it, you have done it, and I feel nobody needs to limit themselves to a number of, like until and unless I reach this number, I cannot hit my income goal. It does not matter at all.
Yeah, totally. And it was the same thing for me. Like even though I'd worked in advertising and, on film sets for commercials and things like that, I had never learned how to do online marketing. I just knew that it was like the golden ticket for having a location independent business, which is what I wanted, and to be able to, call my own shots and call my own schedule so that I could recover from the burnout from working in the film industry. And yeah, same as you, I just figured it out. And I was talking to someone about this the other day. I would literally, I started out as a writer, first as an editor, then a copywriter. And, like the day before I started that entrepreneurial venture, I didn't even think of myself as a writer. So, I was after like a couple of conversations, or like I was helping a friend with her website and they were like, oh no, like you're a good writer. And it just goes to show how we have all of these capabilities that we're just not like cognizant of and aware of half the time, that when you actually set your sights on a goal, suddenly all of these things start to come to your awareness and you start becoming really resourceful. And I would just start out doing like low price gigs, and someone would ask me like, hey, do you know how to write copy for a brochure or like copy for a Facebook ad? And I'd be like, sure. Google it and like figure out how to do it and like get paid to learn, So yeah. all of this stuff around online marketing, like you say, you can learn from watching YouTube videos and like reading blogs, and the content's out there for free if you're willing to, go through the learning curve. Obviously, the learning curve is a lot faster and more fun when you have a mentor and a coach to take you along the way. But there's always a way to get started. So I love that so much. And talk to me a little bit about how the types of clients that you work with has evolved throughout the different stages of your business to where you are now.
Yeah. So initially, like I said, I was working mostly with content coaching. So like you, I was literally, people were asking me, can you help me write a blog? And I would be like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And, can you help me write emails and create an email sequence? Yeah, I can do that. But I think slowly I realized like that was, just the tip of the iceberg. there was so much more beneath that needed to be worked upon before these women could actually show up as they are meant to and as they desire to, right? So that is what my work has evolved into now. And I talk about working with rebel coaches and leaders. And that has come from my own experience, because I think when we come into this industry, we come with such fresh energy and our unique ideas, and this zest of wanting to do things our way. But very quickly you can find yourself falling into this trap of following rules and formulas and templates and putting yourself into a box. And because you are trying to emulate someone who has done 6 figures or 7 figures, and you just want to know how they did that, right? And you just want to follow that. But when that doesn't work for you, you start blaming yourself and you start finding flaws in yourself, and you think that I must be broken, something must be wrong with me, that I cannot seem to figure this out like everyone else is getting it. So something must be wrong with me. And I love working with those women who are sort of, on this treadmill of following another blueprint and formula, and then finding out that it doesn't work for them and they're done with it. And I help them come back to who they are and market from that space. So that's what my work has become. It's come from my own experience. I've been where they are. And I know how frustrating it can get when you just don't know how to make this work, right? It feels simple enough. People are doing it every day, but it just doesn't seem to work for us. So I enjoy and I love working with these women to find their own way, break all the rules, and create their own blueprint of how they want to do their business, right? And reach those income goals and also impact goals, because I work with women who are leaders and who have a movement within them. It's not just about making money, it's about creating a change, an indelible change in the world. So that's what it has evolved into right now. And I just love doing it.
I love it. It's super similar to the work that I do. I love the way that you articulate that, and because it's true. And I think it's easy to forget, particularly with high achievers, because I think a lot of us identify with like being able to do anything, right? Like, like give me a task or a challenge, like I'll start my own business and I can do it. I can get straight A's. I can be an amazing mom. Like, I can do all the things because I'm like the superwoman, like get out of my way. And then, but also still being the rebels at heart and being the innovators. And so we constantly have to remind ourselves of that, because it is that it's almost like a safety zone when someone tells us how to do something, right? Especially if we've been that person who at school like ticked all the boxes, and because it like that's easy to do, right? It's easy to follow somebody else's instruction. So I think it's particularly challenging for like these types of women when we do try something and then it fails, and like you say, then we like all of the self-judgment, and that just like triggers all of the underlying, like low self-worth and low confidence stories that are lying underneath the surface.
Absolutely.
Which is why mindset work is such an integral part of marketing and content marketing. So I love this idea of like creating a rebel strategy. Like that's your strategy. Like you are your strategy, your desires are your strategy. And I always, it sounds harder because it's like, oh, it would be so much easier to just follow somebody else's step by step. But I also remind people that like the internet is a place of unlimited possibility, like as is the world, like there's a million different ways to get in front of your people, to share your message. There's a billion different social media platforms that are all great, and like all like a lot of them are free, like provide free access to share your message and make an impact. And you really don't have to do things that just don't align with your skill set or the way that you want to invest. And, as long as you're resourceful and you're willing to stay focused on like what's fun for you in business, I think that's the most important thing. Then suddenly you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to like go and make some fun videos on TikTok, or I'm going to like make a YouTube channel, or I'm going to just like blog on, video blog on Instagram stories every day. And you can choose which ones are the most fun and accessible to you, and it'll work, if you really commit to it.
Exactly. Like you have to find your strength and lean into that, right? people come to me, my clients come to me and tell me, I don't like writing. I'm great when I'm talking to my clients, I light up, but I just don't know how to articulate that in writing. So, so I tell them, why are you writing? Go and do lives, right? Like, go and speak to people, go and create videos. If videos feel difficult, go and create audios, record yourself saying things and then transcribe it. Like, there's so many ways to do this. But if we are just tunnel visioned into feeling like I have to follow this path, then we cannot see the possibilities that are available to us. And then we keep beating ourselves up, right? And when you were talking about this, it reminded me of the time when, I was pregnant and I was reading all of these parenting books. And I was just thinking, yeah, I'm like, I know every single thing. This baby's going to be here and I know how I'm going to parent her. And, I'm going to hit all these goals out of the park. Like, I'm going to be parenting mother goals, right? And then you get this baby, and every baby is so unique, like their eating patterns, their sleeping patterns, and it does not follow any rules, and you cannot check any boxes, and it starts making you doubt yourself, because the book is saying something and this baby is not at all following the rules of the book, right? And you start doubting yourself as a mother, and then you have to find your own way of how to parent your child, right? And it's the same for your business. Your business is your baby, and you have to figure out how to nurture it, how to grow it, and love it the way you want to do it, right? And figure out your path. And it's simple but not easy, for sure. You will come up with so many of your insecurities and hidden stuff that you have not really worked upon. But it's so rewarding when you actually find your way. I think it's totally worth going for it.
I love that comparison of like your business to a baby. That's so good. And that was like a big realization to me actually recently, was that like another coach made that comparison. She was like, they have like helicopter parents who are trying to control their children, trying to prevent anything bad from happening, and they're just like buzzing around them and like trying to control their lives. Yeah. And it's like that you're not doing your child justice, like the child has to, fall and scrape its knee and figure out that that's what happens when you do that, and make their own mistakes and like and learn and grow as a human. Like, they're not yours. And your business is the same thing. And I've definitely, been in periods where I've had the tendency to want to try to control everything in my business. Like, if I just want to create this result, if I just work really hard to control all of my marketing, my message, my strategy, the way I show up, my energy, and like try and control everything, then surely it must work. And and it's in those times where I've like become a little too obsessive that like everything stops working. And it's like, no. It's really about leaning back and like trusting and being in your creativity and like being in that conversation and really going with the flow, as you say. And I think that is the biggest challenge for people who have, been through like a school system where it's like tick all the boxes and then you get the A's. It's like, cool, I have control over my success. Like, this is so comfortable and like doable. And then when you start stepping out into, the unknown, then it triggers all of those patterns, and you really have to work to release that.
Yeah. Business is not like school at all, unfortunately. I think the best analogy I figured out about business was when I read this book by Lily Singh, the YouTube creator. Yeah, superwoman. And I read her book, and she talked about treating business as a game, as a video game, right? Like, there are levels, and the first time you reach a level, it's going to be really hard to beat that level, and you will probably lose all your lives and you'll fall down many times. But every single time, that level becomes easier and easier. So there will be things in your business which feel really, really hard. Launching for the first time feels so hard, but you get better and better at it every time. And that does not guarantee that the result will be the same every single time. But it definitely, the bounce back time starts becoming shorter and shorter, right? It doesn't take you so much time to just mope around and do Netflix binges before you can gather the courage to do another launch. You just start bouncing back again. Okay, that didn't work. I'll try another strategy. okay, I'll try another offer, I'll frame it differently, I'll use a different messaging and positioning. If you cannot cultivate that attitude, business is very hard, right? If you cannot have that fun, experimental energy with your marketing, your messaging, it's going to feel like everything is going to feel like a personal rejection. And that's never going to work out in your favor. So,
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, because I was just writing some notes for a training I'm giving to my mastermind today on like really bringing that attitude of experimentation. Because when you experiment with something, you're very detached from the outcome, because you're like, it could go well and it could not, but I'll definitely learn something along the way, right?
yeah.
And like you say, if something doesn't work, then you're like, cool. Like I literally have unlimited strategies to choose from within my, my
Exactly.
skill set, which is like way broader than we give ourselves credit for most of the time, especially when you really decide to be resourceful and you're committed to creating that outcome, like no matter what, right? You will get there. And I think, women that like often have this thing where we'll like quit right before we're about to have a big breakthrough.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that this is like a mental pattern, because I notice this in myself, particularly with my partner when we're camping, when we're like driving down a dirt road or like looking for a campsite and there's like no signs and we've been driving for miles and we're like, oh, like we must have driven past it, like let's turn around. And then we're like, no, let's just drive a little bit more. And then it's like always like just past where we were about to give up. We were like, we always do this. And it's the same thing. It's like, it's that one, if you just decide to launch that program one more time, or make the ask just like a couple more times, like that's the time when all the clients come in, or you have that big win or that big sale, because you really chose to stay the course and you didn't talk yourself out of it. So I love this conversation so much. What would you say, like what is the message on your heart that you wish your audience knew that would really benefit them the most?
If I was just to capture in like one sentence, I would just say, you're enough, right? Your voice is enough, your message is enough, your content is enough, you are enough. I see women doubting their expertise, don't even think of themselves as an expert, right? They keep wanting to do another certification, another qualification, another course, and then I'll be enough. And they procrastinate their, creating an offer, launching their business, or just showing up consistently, because they feel like, no, I once I've done that, then I'll be enough to create content, and then I'll be enough to share my voice or get on a podcast or get on a live, right? I feel you're ready right now. You are worthy to be seen and to be heard right now. You don't need to check any more boxes. Just start sharing your message. And also, we were, before we started recording, we were talking about this, bringing your personality and these quirks and little things that we think, should I share that or should I not? But those are the things that make you, right? And make you so endearing and make you stand apart from everyone else as a leader. But when you are constantly doubting yourself and constantly trying to hide yourself and play small, and looking at, some milestone that you have to check before you can actually claim your expertise and claim your space as a leader, you are doing a big disservice, not just to you, but to your clients who need your message right now, whose lives can be changed, whose lives and businesses can be changed by you and the work that you're doing. So that's the message on my heart. I always want to tell my clients that you are a leader, start acting like one.
I love it. Such a powerful message. So true. You are enough. You are enough now as you are. Just get on with it, please. For the benefit of everybody. So thank you so much for coming and sharing all of your wisdom with us today, Swapna. Where can people find you if they want to find out more about your work?
They can find me on my website, swapnathomas.com. And on Instagram, I am the Swapna Thomas. And they should definitely follow us on Clubhouse, where we are hosting a Monday chat, the Mindset Juice chat every Monday. I think, any of those places, I'm happy to just share my wisdom all over the place.
Yes, definitely come and join us on Clubhouse on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. EST. Those have been amazing, amazing chats about everything from visibility to launching to community and collaboration, intention setting, intentional content creation, everything to support creative entrepreneurs to make more money in fun ways with me, Swapna, and a bunch of other really incredible ladies as well. So thank you, Swapna. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Bye. For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.